Hey, greetings everyone. It is GleeCon back at you again with another episode of Lore of Warcraft. On our last episode, we started the final book in the Dungeons & Dragons World of Warcraft campaign setting, which is source book material called Dark Factions, and it's just going to be a little bit more of the same. It looks like I was hoping for something cool at the end, but nope, it's going to be a few character classes, a few races, a few feats, some lore and history, which will be cool when we get to the middle of the book and wrapping up with a few monsters and quests. We've also been playing through World of Warcraft Classic, and as we get through this current cycle, we're now going to wrap up with Kelly, who is back in Stonetalon Mountains, or she's going to be making her way there. So stay a while and listen as we continue this one. She's now 22, so I guess she's probably a little more. She's recently finished the Dead Mines, which is why she's out here. Actually, she has a couple of random quests, if we remember correctly. Been a while since we've done her missions. Let's go ahead and buff ourselves with some inner fire and some power word fortitude. She did get to level 22 and got ourselves a couple more powers, so she's a little bit able to do some things. She has, these quests are just such high levels. She has this ineptitude and chemicals where we have to bring that back to Ironforge before we head back. And then we also have this Devils in the Debris, which we need to bring this back to, this is a priest, I don't even know, it's a Stonetalon quest, but we have to drop it off to Stormwind. We also, those further instructions, yeah, that's, we're returning back to Stonetalon. So we've got a little bit of odd things for her to do. That's Stockade. This is Auberdine, which we are going to have to make our way there. So this episode's going to have a pretty solid amount of her just running around, and we'll let her fight mobs as she sees fit, because she definitely needs to level up as much as possible. Hopefully, just from turning in these quests and killing a few random things, she'll get up to level 23. What's her gold? See, by looking at her, glancing at her gold, it gives me some insight into whether or not I think that she has purchased all of her powers. I don't think she has, because she's got 14 silver. I can also tell just from everything sitting in her bag that she did not level up. I mean, she didn't do what, there's that, we want that dust devil right there. That she did not, she hasn't, I haven't done well in, like, efficiently leveling up tailoring. And I did this with my Warlock as well, but since I'm being more thorough... Okay, that was it. We just got the Desperate Devil Debris off of one guy. Where does our Hearth take us to? Okay, let's Hearth back to Stormwind City, because there's no need to go there. What we're going to need to do from here is go over to Ironforge by taking the tram. And then we're going to need to hike through... I don't even know where she's got quests. Gift giving, I'm not going to pick that up right now. That's stocks. There it is, down there. But I really was trying to, like, synergize my tailoring and my enchanting by saving up and only using my tailoring to develop green items. Terrible idea. You're going to hit this right here where you bottleneck. I've got all this wool, and I don't have enough... I can't even make wool bolts. So I somehow need to get up probably another 7 or 8 levels from finding linen. And that is unfortunate for my character. I don't know. I guess I can probably... You know what? I can probably ship some linen to her from my other Alliance people. That's probably what I need to start doing if they get any. Because otherwise I'm going to have to either grind it out or buy it on the auction house, which is a pain in the butt.
Hello.
Alright, so we did this. Hello, Callie. Have you found the component I need? Allow me just a few moments and I shall have your scroll ready for you. Special delivery for Gaxum. This should only take a moment, Callie. Ah, there you are, Callie. This should do nicely. Please give my regards to Gaxin when you next see him. I look forward to hearing about his adventure when it sees its completion. Farewell.
See you around.
So that's to go back to Stonetalon. So she does have these weird world globetrotting quests taking her. So if you decide to do Alliance and go to Stonetalon, you're going to be doing this weird stuff. We do have these two to turn in. We still never beat Gorenzo's orders because that was like a protection, and I think it was a little hard. We have Reclaiming the Charred Veil. Now this is a little bit... We could probably grind this out because they're 23 and 24. So I think she's a little better equipped to kind of just stubbornly trudge our way through, but hopefully we'll level up at least one more time. We did not get any gold for that, unfortunately. I kept this Storm Pike because we are going to have to skip our way through Loch Modan and up into the wetlands, and then kind of travel over the wetlands into Menethil Harbor, because from there we can hit we can walk down, like, it's... I think she already actually has a couple flight paths from there, so that will be a little better for her. I'm just going to let my other characters do it rather than, and hope that I can get a little bit of linen, but I think in Stonetalon, I don't think they're going to drop me too much linen. So I really think she's going to... And I don't know that I can get it from anybody else. It might be... She might benefit from grinding some trogs. Lieutenant Commander Sunny Muffins just rode by. What a champion. There's Marshal Magi Wizard. Magi Wizard? Maga Wizard? Magi Wizard. A little redundant, but okay. You do you, good sir. Now, and the reason why I say this is because, look, my enchanting has far outstripped my tailoring, which should not be happening. And you will continue to find enchanting gear. And the way that the enchanting mats drop, it lends itself to... You'll just get more and more very similar mats for quite a long time. So, as long as you are just not selling and you're destroying all of your enchantments, you'll be fine. You don't need to synergize it with tailoring. So that was a bad call on my part. It has slowed me down. Some of it was grinding to get the stuff for bags, but you know, we also did get all that leather, that cloth, I mean, from those knolls in Darkshire. Oh, I think I just passed that. There's that little tram. I guess I didn't quite pass it. It's up the right on the other side. There it is. Heals, looking for group. Yeah, so she could do heals or DPS still. I feel like I'm pretty confident about her ability to do both. She's a priest. She doesn't even really have to spec. Even though, especially, okay, I've spec'd wand. I've spec'd some spirit regeneration. Okay. She's just not going to go holy. Eventually, people will outstrip her, her abilities, and that is what it is. It's not a big deal. My inner fire is going to wear off soon, but who cares? Alright, so now we're going back to... One is in Iron... Yeah, so we're going to go turn the second half of that guy's quest in at Ironforge, and that was the other Stonetalon thing. We are 10, 20, 30, 40. We're halfway through her leveling up. Must have just got here right after one left. Normally it's just a couple seconds. Our Horde good in Arathi Basin. I don't know. I hate when there's like such a... It happens, but I hate when there's like a faction dominance on one server for PvP. Kind of annoying. But I mean, I don't know what you can do without micromanagement from Blizzard, in which case I think the players would sense it. And they could, you know, they could change servers and stuff faster than they could force merge PvP servers. Now, if there was just, yeah, I was gonna say if there was just one big world pool of PvP, which they actually might kind of be how it works already now. If you do like just looking for group or whatever with PvP. What's this down here? Oh, that's done. Nomergun. Actually, I you know, oh, the Uprising. Those are both Oh, that's the stockades. Yeah, so she is going to... After this zone, I have her set up to go into Duskwood, so she's going to split that with... I think I have one other... I almost walked off. She's going to split that with somebody else, which will be okay, but I think that's, like, more appropriate. Stonetalon was a bit of a stretch, because what happens is you look online... And it says like, oh, they're within this leveling, this leveling range. You got to do. I did some more research when I made it for the thorough mode I'm doing with myself and the wife. So it wasn't. It's a little more smooth.
Greetings.
Okay, so you get introduced to him. Yes, it's true. TechBot has gone rogue. Please, can you help me? Save TechBot's brain. I think this is a Nomergon quest, but sure, I'll pick it up. When our beloved city Nomergon fell, a rogue spark must have jolted my poor creation TechBot. It once aided me and my associates with its countless gizmos and limitless store of information, but its positronic brain has polarized. Now it's negatronic, and TechBot's behaviors are reversed. It roams Nomergon in a frenzy, but perhaps it can be salvaged. Perhaps if you can retrieve TechBot's memory core and bring it to me, I can discover the cause of the polarization and fix my poor TechBot.
You need assistance?
The day after. I think that's like a Nomergon thing too. I guess we'll pick it up because eventually all my alliance people are gonna do Nomergon. You don't think I was always bald, do you? No, ma'am. It was the radiation leak in Nomergon that caused this tragic hair loss. Before that day, I had the only gnome fro in all of Azeroth. Norn shakes his fist in the air. Damn those damn dirty trogs. Damn them all. Perhaps it's not too late, Callie. We may still be able to save it. The city, I mean. Speak to Ozzy Togglebolts in Karanos. He and his partner Razzle are working on a solution.
Alrighty then.
Sorry that we can't save your gnome fro.
Can I help you?
I can't make any nitro Let's try that again. Nitromere glyceronium if I don't have the potions. They're vital to this creation. This'll do nicely. If I didn't know any better, stranger, I'd say you knew something about alchemy. Good. Good. Well, it's not all about swords and sorcery, you know? Here you go, stranger. Take heed with it, though. It's volatile stuff. If you're really a friend of Gaxon's, then tell him I say hello. If you're not, have fun blowing yourself up.
Right.
Okay. So in here, there is donation of wool, a PvP, stone gear search. Speak with pilot stone gear. Let's take a peek. I think it'll be quicker. Knowledge of the Deeps is, I believe, a Black Fathom Deeps dungeon. I don't know if we're going to be doing that. Not, at least not with Kelly. Stone gear search. Let's take a peek and see where that sends us. Doing Morog. He wants us to Steel Grill Depot. Okay, and what's the point of this? Like, I feel like, is this part of a chain? Yeah, the search for incendicite. We already do this. Was found in the wetlands. So this is going to chain us into the wetlands, and I don't care. We'll save that for for any of our people that actually go over to the wetlands to quest there. So now she has to... And I don't know, where can she fly to? I don't think I have, like, I don't have Lochmadon or the wetlands. So now she's going to have to hoof it, unfortunately. Oh my god, I just got that huge buff from the Fire Festival. It's like a 300 stamina buff. So it almost doubles her life. It's pretty good. Pretty spicy. Alright, now comes the boring part of the episode. Since she is a world traveler, we have spent more time than we probably otherwise should going to Stonetalon Mountains and back, but This time I think it'll be a little shorter because once she gets over to Kalimdor, now I could be lazy and beg for a port, but let's just be self-sufficient. I don't have the money to tip anyone, and I don't want to like be a complete mooch. I don't know what a scroll of messaging is for, but whatever. Yeah, she's collecting some Nomergon spells pretty well, like pretty quests. She does already have a Black Fathom Deeps dungeon. I probably should have picked up the other one while I was here, but whatever. Knowledge of the Deeps. I mean, she's definitely primed to do Black Fathom Deeps. But Black Fathom Deeps is one that we'll do even after Stockade, so we're not in a rush. Okay, so we got the Gates of Ironforge. I guess while we're here, we'll turn in this the day after, and then you get the no gain. I think we have that with someone, actually. There's the search for Incendicite, which is what that breadcrumb would take to us. I don't want to do it just because I'm afraid I'll forget. I'm actually going to skip both of these because I'm afraid I'll forget, and then we'll do it with another character, and we'll have like double, triple read this. Okay, let's hop down the mountainside. Ouch! That really hurt. Sorry, Kelly. You can take it. You're a tough girl. So let's take a peek here at what they're chatting about. Heard they got some sanctions on my name. Heard they plotting on my name. I don't know who this Adix is. And what he's doing. It looks like he's just started talking. I can't tell if he's trying to be like edgy or masquerading as humor, or the other way around, or he wants to be like a rapper. Like I can picture that, like a Master P. Like, heard they got some sanctions on my name, heard they plotting on my name, Old Master P jokes for anybody that was listening to rap in the late 90s. Alright, so we got a long walk. What can we talk about on our walk here? We never have a dearth of ideas, but I've been putting off the discussion of Diablo 4 for some time, so even though it's not World of Warcraft related, we can talk a little. Oh, I know, I've been playing some other games. Like I've mentioned, I've been playing God of War Ragnarok. I am like pretty much gonna platinum it. I'm like 90. I have one trophy left to platinum, which is to kill. Like there's one final. I don't know that I want to do super spoilers in case people haven't played it, but if you've ever played the God of War remake, there is a very challenging. That's where Nomergon is. There's like an ultimate final hard boss that you can fight. It's an optional kind of end game boss you can seek out. Well, they have one of those in God of War Ragnarok as well. So I have to beat that one final person. I just beat like the second hardest boss. Some people find him harder. It was okay. It took me like maybe 3 tries. I'm just playing on normal mode. I used to do this thing, and I'm kind of growing out of it, but I used to always play a game on the hardest difficulty when I started the game. I don't know if it was a point of pride, and I felt like while it would make me grind, and the beginning of games would be brutal, and some games are just whatever, you put them on hard mode, they're still not hard, like the Spider-Man games, put them on hardest difficulty, it doesn't matter. They're not that much hard, like they're still manageable. But God of War was one of the first. The God of War and the Horizon Forbidden Dawn series, Horizon Zero West, and all those. I like them both, but they both started changing me. One, because they don't give you a reward for beating it on the hardest difficulty. So if there's no trophy for it, now I'm solely doing it for pride, not to satisfy any completionist anything. So then I started asking myself, especially with the last God of War, like, it would, if you put it on the hardest difficulty level, you are basically saying I need to treat every boss like it is every regular fight with mobs. would be as hard as a boss fight if you're playing on normal, where you're using all of your resources and strategizing, and you have to have just flawless, you have to be good at parrying, and the parrying windows are small, and I don't know if we go high or low on this. I think, not sure, maybe you can go right into wetlands, maybe we can bypass this completely. But then would we be able to fly there? I don't know. Is it worth it to go through there? Because I did pick up that quest to pick up the flight path. Maybe I'll do it just for that. Plus, I mean, look, I'm getting 38 XP. So I still forced myself to do it. Sure, it makes you a better player. It makes you better at the game. It does increase your hand-eye coordination, your twitch skills. Like, I'm the kind of person that loves all of the... I've platinumed every... Well, almost every From Software game, Dark Souls game. I didn't really get into this fixation. I would go for platinums if I really liked a game, but in the past few years, I've really, like, just... I won't buy a game unless I've got to platinum it. And then I don't quit until I platinum it. So, after I did that, there was the Demon Soul remake, which is the first From game, or the first one that I know about. There might be, like, some kind of low-budget beginning one I don't know about. So I did go back and platinum that on PS5. That was one of the first games, if not the first game I bought. I can't remember. And then Dark Souls 1, I went back and platinumed it after the fact because it's not too bad. And I definitely platinumed everything after Dark Souls 3 because that was where I started my maniacal right around that time period. So Bloodborne, Sekiro, Elden Ring, anything that's come out from around the time of Bloodborne and beyond, I've platinumed it. And then I can't remember if I platinumed... I know there's one, either 2 or 3, and maybe both that I didn't. And I think... I feel like what happened, and I might be wrong, I'd have to go check my, like... you can look GleeCon, that's my PlayStation profile also. Actually, it's the full thing, but if you look up GleeCon, you'll probably be able to find me. But GleeCon is a shortening of my actual PlayStation profile that I created years ago. Like when I first got a PlayStation, it was, I don't know. Well, I probably had something else, but at some point I made a new PlayStation profile, like probably around the time when the Assassin's Creed games came out. So PS3 era, beginning of the PS3 era, is when I took on this moniker, and it's been my gamer tag for like everything ever since. There's a story that goes along with it, but nothing too crazy. I'm not gonna. I'll get distracted if I talk about it right now. But okay, so now we can turn this in on the way up to the wetlands. We now have a flight path here in Lochmadon. So my Dark Souls, what happens, I think it's Dark Souls 2. It's possible that I platinumed Dark Souls 2, but what I think happened is there is something that's like ridiculously grindy. Like World of Warcraft level grind. The kind of crap I would put myself through for an achievement on World of Warcraft. The stuff I've done for the achievements on that. Whenever we finally switch over and we're playing retail, I think I'll start on a new server so that you guys don't have it, but I might pop over one time and just show the world, show this channel all of my achievements. And it's not like there are people that have more than me because I have some glaring holes. There's, I think from like Warlords of Draenor, Legion, BFA, I didn't, like I took entire expansions off. Like I did not play during Warlords of Draenor. I did not like that. I still to this day I don't like that expansion. It's my least favorite. I just don't enjoy it. I've gone back and done all of the exploration and questing achievements in it, but I haven't done like unless it's required for a quest achievement. I haven't done any of the dungeons, any of the raids, and I didn't get back in during Legion either. So Legion, I've come back and I've done a lot of the stuff wherever I like Legion. I just never came back and did it so a lot of the Legion content, and when it comes to dungeons and raids, I haven't done either. And BFA is when I started playing again, but I wasn't really thorough about doing the dungeons or raids. I did a lot of them. Probably, I just didn't like go back and do them on like heroic and mythic and stuff.
Talk to me.
We've already done this quest with other people. I just want to get a little money, get that bag out of my inventory. But the the amount of time. So anyway, I just lost like a ton of time. Here's the Algaz Gauntlet. I think we're gonna do this with Maleficent. What's it say?
What can I do for you?
Just traverse it, kill a bunch of. I'm not even gonna pick up the quest. Because we're gonna do this with a couple other characters. But if we have to kill on the way here, I'll kill just for some linen if I can get it. XP linen. We've got from 50 to 60 XP just doing that. We picked up 10% of XP. So anyway, that was kind of an aside right there about my achievements, but you guys can just see the crazy amount of achievements, the amount of playtime I have. I've got to be like probably in the record books for playtime on my main. Yeah, there's not really. I think you can actually like hop down. What if we could bubble and hop? A little scary looking, but I believe I did this with another character. Let's try it. You know what? She can do. Oh, I don't know if I have that spell yet. I was gonna say I thought Priest could do some kind of floating. Maybe I just don't have it yet. I wonder if I don't think bubble protects you from. Oh crap! Well, that's not what I wanted to do. Well, where does it spawn us? Back in freaking Delsamar? You've got to be kidding me. Well, you know what? Maybe it'll be better because I can res my corpse down there. So maybe this time it's going to take for me to run back there it will actually save us a little bit of time, maybe, or at least we'll break even. I can't. That was an accident. I did not want to throw myself. I was going to try to hit that little nub. I've successfully jumped down there with one of my other characters, and I think my paladin. Whatever. Oh well. There goes this hardcore character. Rip. So anyway, my point from all of this side story is that at some point, and I think it was the last God of War, when I started saying, like, I am spending so much time on each fight. It's taking the game and making it so much more time consuming. Do I want to spend my life like this? Like, I have a finite amount of hours in the day, and there's more games that come out than I could play. So, is this how I want to spend my time? And I already have regrets similarly, and I'll talk about it when I talk about Diablo at some point. With kind of doing something similar, starting harder than I should have. But at that point in time, I kind of, now I will play it on the hardest difficulty from jump if that's if that's required for the platinum. But if it's not, now I won't go down and play it on easy unless like I'm just burnt on the game. I'm burnt on the game and I'm ready to be done, and it doesn't affect the achievements. Give it to me on, then I might. But I typically try to at least play on normal. Like on this God of War Ragnarok, there's no benefit to playing on. I'm glad that buff lasted through death, that fire buff. There's no benefit to playing on. See, I'm worried about that level 20 fight right there. That's exactly what I did not want to happen. Do I have any food? Okay, well. Heal up, and then I'll just drink some of my milk, and then we're gonna have to fight that slime to get out of here. It's alright, it'll be worth it. She wants the XP, and now we're at the floor of the wetlands, so now we can walk around. The whole point of this was to go to Menethil Harbor. So we can take a boat over to Aberdeen. But anyhow, I am going to... Should have done that. I'm going to be platinuming that very soon. I am playing on normal mode, and I have like maxed everything right now. I think I could probably cure disease, yeah. That slows down your time between attacks. Classic oil, whatever. Cool. Take some of that XP. She'll get some XP for exploring too. That'll be nice. Continue to. Oh, yeah. Hey. I don't want to pull that whole camp, but maybe I can fight like one of them. But see, they're level 20 and 21. I think they're gonna ding me with. I think I'm gonna get wool. If these guys are dropping wool, then I mean I might get lucky, but I bet you with their loot table, it's like mostly wool. I didn't get either. Mostly wool, and maybe like have a chance, depending on the RNG, for a little bit of linen. Alright, so we've turned in those quests, we've made our way through Dunmorog, Loch Modan, and now we are in the wetlands, and we're going to follow the curving road along, and this we'll be able to take a boat over to the other continent. Yeah, and then there's one side quest. So then I'll have Platinum God of War. It's going to happen today. Probably happen right after I finish making this video. And then I'm going to... I am going to play something else. What I wanted to do is I got... So there was a few... My summer game list was God of War Ragnarok, Diablo 4, keep playing Warcraft, because that's my, I've been doing that for 20 years. Why would I ever stop? And then I got the Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. I don't remember if I told my story. That's the old man in me coming out. I am not a senior citizen or anything, but there's times when I definitely am like, I don't remember if I've told this person that story, and the old dad in me is just like, I'm just gonna tell this story again anyway. And I cannot recall, like, I couldn't count how many times in my life somebody's like my dad or a grandfather or an older person, someone that I work with, just tells me a story. I'm like, bro, you've told me this story. Like, it could be a girl too. I'm not trying to say girls don't do this. I'm just like, you've told me this story. I've heard this story so many, and then you just have to smile and nod. At least with me, you can fast forward. Like, he's told this one already. But long story short, I guess I'll tell the story again about my Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom, and my son's debacle. So we'll do another aside here. I'll just keep jumping around as I just randomly take this walk. These long walk episodes are where it's just like, this guy's crazy. I'm just literally tuning in to hear him ramble. And I don't even get to contribute. And I don't even get to be like, yes, here is something about me, like a regular person would do in a real conversation. Nope, you're just hearing me rant or like drone on. And if it's not for you, I get that. There's plenty of episodes where I read. That's why I back it up if you want to hear like a book on tape. So this is like a book on tape if there was no narrative thread or no consistent plot, and the writer just was not kept in check by an editor, and you're not learning anything deep about the lore. You're just learning the lore of Gleekon. That's what these episodes should be called. So, I'll give a brief version since I might have already told this story in this channel, but basically, my son likes Breath of the Wild, as does he's a middle schooler, my youngest, as does every middle school age gaming kid. They think Breath of the Wild's cool, especially kids that are more like my youngest son is all three of my oldest kids were like athletes. My youngest son is not an athlete. He's in band, and he's smart and in advanced classes and likes video games, and I'll let you kind of connect the dots and draw some things from there. But he's a good kid. So he liked Breath of the Wild, still plays it. I loved Breath of the Wild. You can't platinum Nintendo games, but if there was a platinum, I would have gotten it. I did all of the shrines. I did all the seeds. And so when Tears of the Kingdom came out, I'm like, ooh, I'm going to get down on that game too. Like, I look forward to that. It's lower because the Switch is my son, so it's not that I don't like playing on Switch. I'm fine with it, although I do think the controllers suck. Getting all the stuff on Breath of the Wild, I literally went through like 2 controllers, just wear and tear, and that's very rarely happened to me on any other controller in my whole lifetime. Maybe like some PS2 controllers or something like that. Like I wore down to the nubs. So that's annoying, but I was excited. So I had originally told him, well, that's a $70 game, and I'm not just going to give you a $70 game because you want it. So your options are to work for it, or you can wait for a holiday if you really want to, but I'll give you the opportunities, chores. I even give him academic opportunities. Like I'll give him money for whatever. Like he's moving on. The math he's in is pretty advanced for his age. So I will incentivize him to practice. I make him practice math anyway all the time. There's a lot of things about me as a parent which are crazy. And this is where my aside comes in. So there's this weird clickbait website, and it's like one of my McDonald's of my mind. It's a guilty pleasure that I have. It's so ridiculous. The rest of my family rolls their eyes, and they kind of hate that I have this guilty pleasure. But it's a site called Quora. It's the dumbest thing ever. It's like a clickbait troll Reddit. And I looked up a question one time that was a real legit question. There's a book series called What If that does these scientific questions. It's a really cool series if you where they'll do what would happen if you tried to shoot a machine gun at it, a lightning bolt, or what would happen if every single human being on Earth jumped up and then landed at the exact same time. So there are and he's a scientist of some type, so he tries to figure out mathematically and using science what would be the answer to these questions. I love this series because there's 2 or 3. I think there's now a 3rd book just came out, and then he has it's called XKCD. It's a online. He does it in comics, so it's very cool. I really enjoy it, and I highly recommend. 10 out of 10. So I was looking up one of these questions myself on my own one day just to see. It was one of those type of questions, and I don't remember what it was. What would happen if you 2 bullets shot at each other and they both hit, or something ridiculous like that. And Quora had some kind of post about that. And that, I don't know if I signed up. I had to have signed up because I am on the Quora, I have a membership or whatever. They have my email, and I get an email spam update from them every day. Every day I get an email from Quora telling me a clickbait headline. Which, if it was like those questions, which is what originally got me sucked in, and they do have some stuff that's ish like that, it'd be all cool. But no. This, like 90% of the time, it is something completely absurd. Theramore. This is Theramore? I don't want to go to Theramore. Dang it, I gotta go to the other dock. Pretty sure. Most of the time it's something ridiculous. Here's an example. Of... I'm trying to remember the one that I read yesterday. Oh, here's the one I read yesterday. This one was so ridiculous. I actually had to comment. It was my 15-year-old son pushed my 5-year-old daughter down the stairs, and she came running to me crying and told on him. How can I teach my daughter that being a snitch is bad? So they're so obviously like generated, and then what will happen is like 8,000 keyboard champions will be like, "You're a horrible person. I can't believe you would say that." And when it's like so obvious, come on,
Safe travels.
like it's somebody that's job is to, they know that like a bunch of righteous people will get on there and be like, "I can't believe you would say, you would come after your 5-year-old daughter. Your son has an anger problem, blah, 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 blah." So the responses I don't care about, because it's just, like I said, it's a bunch of righteous keyboard warriors that think that they're actually contributing. Like, if they just admonish and scold someone, no, it's, come on, like, it's generated just so that people will gut reaction. Like, obviously, if your 15-year-old son pushed your 5-year-old daughter down the stairs, and the kid comes to you crying, you're not going to be like, "Stop your crying, you little snitch." No, you hopefully hope to God that the child doesn't have anything broken, and then you would be like, "I think my 15-year-old son is a sociopath." So, I just love the article questions. I don't usually read the responses. I just like to read, and I like to kind of save them up for a few days, and then like I like to sit back and read them out loud and laugh. And my family just like, "Oh my god," like my wife is like, "Stop rotting my brain with these. I can't even listen to them," but they just tickle me. So here's an example of how I'm crazy. So a lot of the time it'll be like, they'll have a question like, my son keeps telling me I should have a door to my room, and he's 16 years old, and how do I explain to him, or he's mad that I won't let him have a door. How can I get him to stop asking me to put a door up on his room? Or something absurd like that. So in my house, I do have a lot of some rules that most would probably consider extreme, and one of them is we have an open door house, and it's probably not quite as crazy as it sounds, but I think a lot of people are like, "What the heck?" So, other than the toilet when you're going to the bathroom, no doors in my house are ever closed. So my wife and I keep our bedroom door open. The only time that we don't is when it might be getting a little bit romantic. Then I think it's beneficial for everyone that the door is closed. And even then, we might keep it open. The geography, the layout of my house does lend itself to where this scenario is not quite as bad as it sounds. So on my bedroom, the master bedroom of the house, the door to it actually opens onto a long hallway that separates, and right closest to that door is our bathroom, and then you have to actually go down a hallway that's the length of the house, and then our bedroom's tucked away. So even when we have our bedroom door open, we still have privacy. You'd have to come back in there and then walk down an entire hall to get to our room. So no one's really sneaking in on you or anything like that. And also, no one's going to be able to see anything you're doing back there, so you can clearly get dressed or whatever you need to do. And the way that the bedrooms work in my kid's house, I mean the kids' bedrooms, which again, 3 out of the 4 are grown now and out of the house. So this is just my son back there. There's a gate that, it's like a dog gate, so it's a loud, clanky gate that keeps, I'm sure you've heard it on some of the videos when I was out there, that separates all 3 other bedrooms from the rest of the house. And those 3 bedrooms are they're on a hallway, one at either end and then one in the center. So when you have those open, you'd really have to be, so we're in Aberdeen, thank goodness. Even though they have to keep their bedroom doors open, they're separated by a gate from the rest of the house. You'd hear the gate opening if anyone was coming, and then each one is separate at the end of the hall. So you can't, for instance, be sitting in the living room and looking. And I understand you want to have privacy. Like my kids, of course, they want to change. Well, if they really want to get changed, they can, and they're worried about complete nudity, and they could change in the bathroom, and then or they could just step away from the door. Like the door only shows one small portion of the room. Just don't stand in front of the door when you're changing, and you're fine. You still have 80% of your bedroom. I don't know who started it. I really think it's my wife. She gets very, I don't know. But I don't really hate it.
Peace be with
So
you.
this is the corruption abroad. We're finally turning this quest in. He says, "Oh, so my brother Argus sent you. I realize you must be weary from your travels. We have much to talk about." All right, we're not actually going to read. What does he do? He wants the Black Fathom Deep quest.
Farewell.
I'll pick that up, but I'm not going to read about it right now. So we'll pick it up just in case, because it's another Black Fathom Deep one. I'm going to I'm pretty sure we actually, yeah, we already have. We've been through here. So let's see if we can fly the rest of the way. But as a parent of 4, especially when they were younger, the argument would be, or our argument would, what would you be doing that you need the bedroom door closed for? So obviously masturbation, that could be one thing happening. And while I don't have any negative judgments or anything like that. I think it's just something as a. It's not like I'm trying to think about how I want to phrase this and keeping this PG, or as PG as possible, or without getting too political or anything about it. I just think. I think with an open door situation, especially with the geography of our house, you could still be comfortable in your own body, and really it would just allow us to. What are you gonna do? Sure, you need some time to crap talk, but basically when you get used to it, is really, I think my wife started it. I'm pretty 99% sure she started it, and I just didn't fight it because I don't really care. And I think you get used to it, and we've lived in it in our house. Like even now that my oldest daughter, she turns 24 in a couple weeks, she's come back and she started staying with us. We didn't tell her she had to have, but she just settled right in and keeps the open door lifestyle. She's in one of those bedrooms back there, and she's 24 years old, and she just keeps the bedroom open. Because I think once you kind of get used to it, then you start to realize, you want privacy, but why do you need what is it that makes you need a door closed? What are you doing that you don't want other people to find out about? Why are you not comfortable doing it in front of others? So I think it creates a question. Now there's certain things I do, like when I'm recording videos like this, it's better for me to be, but that's a noise concern. Sometimes if I'm doing work on my computer, And we have people. I like to sequester myself. But other than that, like, we sleep with the doors open. I don't know. So, in addition to those rules, this is all tied back to Tears of the Kingdom. So I have these strange rules. And some of the strange rules are also, you have to do... I mean, this might not be strange, but I'm a stickler for certain rules and systems. We have to be in my house. I made my kids always read every day. They always had to read at least, you know, a certain amount of time or a chapter in a book or whatever. And that was one thing. We also had to, I don't know how many people are. It says, someone asked me if my guild is large. I'm going to answer them. It has like 250 people, but most never log on. I have it on caps. I don't know why they're asking me. Because maybe they're trying to poach me, or maybe they're curious. Either way, what's my guild? I don't even remember. I forgot I was even in a guild. Alright, so let's actually pick up this quest while we're right here. Reclaiming the Charred Veil. And then we're gonna pop on down to these to go turn this stuff in. So he says, as a protector of the forest spirits, you can undoubtedly guess why I'm alarmed. You have traveled through these mountains to reach this peak. Surely you have seen the travesty which has befallen the land. Greed has led to the destruction of these sacred hills. The Charred Veil to the south was set afire by the greedy mechanized army of industrialists. Worst yet, the blood furies that have encroached on the land refuse us passage to begin regrowth. Drive the wretched harpers out, Kelly. We will be doing that too, so now we have more, but these guys are level... It says 23 and 24, but it's a level 27 quest. Like, I think we might be able to kind of push our way in. We're gonna try. We've already almost hit an hour just getting back here, but whatever. Alright, so I also have always made my children do something academic. Now in the school year, they have to do homework. That's their academic thing. They have to make sure they're caught up. If schools give less and less homework, now when my kids were younger, it seemed like there was always homework to be had. So that, or like my oldest daughter did something called the IB program. Once she was an IB, really it comes down to if you're maintaining your grades. I don't really push it during the school year. If you're like keeping that honor roll level ABs, then I don't really push it because you're obviously doing fine. If you can, and that was what I always told my kids. If you can stay on top of your stuff, you don't have missing assignments, then I'm going to let you handle your business. But the second that you start dipping into the C's territory and below, and it depends on my kid, like my two of my 4 kids were honor students, or are honor students, and in advanced classes, my oldest and my youngest, and they, so the standard for them was always, you stay in that honor roll, or else I get involved. And then for my other 2 kids, my 2 middle children, they weren't honor students. School was harder for them. They always struggled to keep their grades up. So for them, a C might not be the end of the world, but if we're consistently pulling C's in one class, then I'm going to get involved to help out. And that help might be that we practice or study that particular subject a little bit every day. And then my son, one of those was my middle son. He hated it. It was not a good method for him. It worked great for my other kids. They all did really well in school and all graduated. But my middle son, it pretty much, I don't know if he would have drove him away from, like, our relationship has not. It's okay now, but it really destroyed our relationship when we were in his teenage years, and he had a very hard time finishing school. He was a DF student for the last couple of years of his high school career, and he just didn't care. Like, he hated school, and he's my only kid that doesn't really have my youngest son, who knows how he'll go. He's still in middle school, but he's my only kid that doesn't have like a career path that they're on, and he's just kind of floating by, doing jobs, working under the table. So I mean, some of that is everyone's an individual. I have 4 kids, and it's a regime that worked good, but that shows you that even doesn't matter your regime. There's outside factors, and you can't control everything. So you can only just do your best, and hopefully your best produces. I feel like a 75% hit rate if my youngest son, and I've learned a lot with him, so I feel like it's probably pretty good chance that he'll turn out good academically and everything. 75% hit rate, that's pretty dang good. I'll take it. And my other son, he's not like a criminal or anything, so just hates school. Alright, so we're finally to the part we're going to kill. I felt like I'd kill some of these basilisks if we saw some ones that we could handle, because we do need their scales. And we'll come grind some in that region after we turn these others in. At least for a couple minutes. We might not finish the quest, but we'll get it started. Just need these crystallized scales. So, what's the point of all of this, you say? Well, the point is, so I make my kids do these things. My son has to practice music every day. He has to do chores. He has to practice a little bit of math every day, because that's his area that's coming up to be the most hardest. When you do middle school, if you pick up that advanced math, the algebra path when you're at his age, it's a big learning curve at first. So, and I've done it with 3 other kids, so I know. They all took algebra in middle school, and I know what it takes for them to have an easier time. So, when he really wanted Tears of the Kingdom, I told him, you can wait, you can work for it by doing extra chores or extra math. I gave him these Duolingo. I gave him some ways that were academic that I would incentivize, because that's the crazy kind of open door household guy I am. Or he could work, and we would give him some extra chores and things that he could physically do, physical labor, yard work, summertime stuff. Or he could wait till his holiday. So he got honor roll, and summertime is coming up, and I kind of wanted the game too. So then I thought to myself in the last week of the school year, hey, I'm going to buy this game and let him have it as a present. Like, hey, good job. You had a good school year. Summer's coming. This will be fun for us to play. And that little turd didn't know that I did that. So what he did was his friends all got it the second it dropped. His little friend group. And we're just talking it up, and he was just pouty and mopey. Oh, my dad won't let me have it, blah, blah, blah. Of course, neglecting to say, my dad said I would have to work for it if I was going to have it. Otherwise, I was going to have to wait. So he left that part of the story out, and one of his friends who's a really great kid. He's one of his best friends. Really, really good kid. He does have a little side hustle that he works. His dad lets him work. He does something outside of school. He gets to go, and he makes a little cash for it. So he worked, and it's like he'll get to work on a long project. Maybe it's landscaping, whatever. And then when the whole thing is done, he'll get a big payday, like $100 or something like that. Which is big for a little 12-year-old. So he finished his side hustle, and my son got him to take the majority of his pay and buy him Tears of the Kingdom. Give him the cash. He didn't buy him, he gave him the cash. So, on the, like, 2-3 days before the last day of school, my son comes up to me and he was like, oh, you know, every day we would, on the ride back from school, I make it a point to say, hey, tell me about your day. And most kids, when they become teens, they don't want to tell you about their day. They're just like, nothing happened. Nothing. What'd you do today? Nothing.
Pleased to meet you.
Let's turn in these 2 quests.
Goody, you're back. Your task has been done flawlessly, Callie. NG5 is the unequivocal component in the recipe to ignite the wagons of dynamite. What? Yes, dynamite? Wagons of it? It's a perfect distraction, I tell you. Just wait and see. Haha, you're back. Do you have it? Do you have the spell? This is perfect, Callie. Well done. This spell mixed with the NG5 shall make the perfect remote explosive. We'll be able to create the perfect distraction for you so you can sneak in and steal Adventure Co's letters and engineering plans. This will surely slow down their deforestation acts.
Now he's giving me 2 more quests. Okay, Covert Ops Alpha and Beta.
This is it, Callie. Pay close attention. The devices are done and ready to be used. Take these pages. They'll explain more about the detonators and explosives and where you should place them. Remember, the success of your mission doesn't depend on how much destruction you cause. Plan Alpha's success depends on you bringing back the Venture Co's engineering plans from inside the lumber mill south of Cragpool Lake.
Off and away.
Okay.
Can I help you?
Now, Beta.
Plan Beta is just like Plan Alpha, Callie. We cause a distraction, then steal their precious letters. The key is to get their letters. Remember that. The pages I gave you already will tell you where to plant the explosives. Just get back here alive and with those letters.
He's seeing you.
Oh, I wonder if this is like option A, option B. You could do either one. Just like we just did on the... That's what we need. Oh, no. It is... We need 2 things. Okay, so we have an alpha and a beta. That's cool. We'll read those letters in just a minute because this actually seems cool. I don't know if we're going to run out and do those missions right now. I think what I'm actually going to try to do is make an attempt at Gorenzo's orders again. Because I think that's the one where you protect him, and we just couldn't handle it last time. So I think I'm going to try that out. But let's turn this one into... This was the further instructions from Ziz Physics. And then we'll do that. Anyway, so I was livid when my son told me that, hey, the good news of the day. Yeah, so every day I tell them...
Time is money.
Eliminate Gorenzo. Now, there is a prospect I have no objections to. Gnome's bad enough as it is, but what I learned about Gorenzo only makes it worse. Apparently, he's one of the head engineers in Gnomeregon, where he was working on their secret project. We could never infiltrate Dunmorg well enough to find out specific details. It was a failure. Our reports say that whatever it was literally exploded in their faces.
Gorenzo Wrench Whistle.
I met Gorenzo once, but let me tell you, he's not easy on the eyes. His flesh looks like it's rotten away and he's grafted metal and gears onto his body. Replaced some of his limbs with mechanical ones. Northeast of here, far above Cragpool Lake, up near the water wheel, is where Gorenzo watches over the entire site. There's no way I could fight my way up there, not to mention to take on Gorenzo, but you look like you might be able to make it. If you kill him for me, I'll make it worth your while.
That's a decent cloak. That's true.
Have a good one.
So, he wants me to go up there, but that's level 27. I'm not going to try that. We're going to try Gorenzo's orders. That will be the last thing that we probably try on this episode today. With Callie, so... And then next time we'll do the Covert Ops plan. That's where we'll start. But, so every day, with all my kids, I do this thing where I say, what is... when the teenagers say, nothing. What'd you do today? Nothing. How was your day? Whatever. It was fine. Whatever. Girls, boys, doesn't matter. That's just how they act at middle school. Because they're hardwired at that age. Don't feel bad if you have not raised middle schoolers. Or if you do and you're like, man, that was just hard. They are just hardwired at that age to not give a crap about you. It's just biological. It's the way their brain works. Only care about their friends. You're not cool, and the best thing you can do is just try to have the best relationship with them that you can as a parent, not as a friend. So maintaining firm discipline, and by that I don't mean being a jerk, although you can be crazy like me and make them have open bedroom doors. But I mean setting consistent expectations that you follow through on. They can act like they hate it all they want. There's nothing. It's if there's a key to parenting, that's what it is. Set rules that you are willing to enforce and follow through every time without fail. And if your rules seem too harsh or it seems like they're being counterproductive, have a conversation with your kids about the reasonableness of the rules. Make new rules. Apologize when you screw up. If you don't want cussing in your house and you cuss in front of your kids, if you don't want your kids cussing at you, then tell them my bad if you cuss at them. Like, it's going to happen from time to time. We're human. But if you don't want them cussing at you, apologize and then try not to do it. Or you can be one of those households where your kids say F you, Dad, and I see plenty of that too, which is whatever. Everyone has their own style. You just got to know what you're okay with. So when I say, hey son, notice that was wool cloth. Hey son, what was the good news? What was the bad news? And my son, Mr. Sun, says to me, oh, the good news of today, oh crap, it is inside there. He's inside this mine. I didn't see that. Sure. I actually kind of remember doing this now, trying it anyway. I think we had a hard time fighting our way in. When he tells me, oh, I just got my friend to buy me that game, to give me the $70, I was livid. I made him give it back. I told him, guess what? I already had the game for you, and now you have to work for it. And I do think I told that story before on this channel, now that I mention it, but that's just how much it annoyed me. So, the old boy has been getting allowance. He's been working a little bit, but working very slow. He's not super stoked about the idea of working for it, so he's been playing his cards out. He's close. I think he's at about $58. He's at least not spending his cash, which he's pretty bad about. Like, oh yeah, I want to save up for something, but then spending his money rather than saving it. So, if nothing else, it's improving that. He is... And this is, I mean, you just gotta... one lesson at a time, you know? So the lesson for this, he's learning it. But because of that, I don't want to bust Tears of the Kingdom out, even though it's been sitting in my room for a month and a half now. That was where this all went. That was the point of this whole story. Is I don't want to bust Tears of the Kingdom. So, when I beat God of War Ragnarok, I'm going to probably pick something else. Let's read what this little mission says here. Let's read our instructions. Maybe we can at least do one of them. I thought he said he was giving us... oh, it's right here. Covert Ops Pack. Alright, we have Detonator Blue, Detonator Red, NG5 Charge Red, NG5 Charge Blue. Let's kill this guy. He's after us. And Covert Ops Plans. There we go. What the heck? I thought we were going to do something. Basilisk. Yeah. Crystallize. Where are the pins at? There they are. Alright, let's read these plans. Okay, you should have your NG5 chargers and detonators ready. I've labeled them for you. Blue is for the lumber mill. Red is for the mine, which is where we're at right now. I did some scouting, and there are enough explosives throughout Windshear Crag that it shouldn't be a problem at all for you to get in. Plant the explosives, then get out before detonating them. Remember, this is a distraction. Get far from the wagons before the goblins get there to check out what happened. Then sneak in behind them. Be careful with them, by the way. The nitromyrglyceronium alone could reduce you to dust. I've encased some of the liquid in copper tubes, which should keep it stable and safe. The scroll you got from Colin I used on the detonator boxes. They will now send a silent message to the NG5 charges after you've set them. I used a simple stealth Worgen mechanism to make sure the wire conductivity is optimal and the flow of the nitroglyceronium between the differential fluid is better than average. Okay. Before I get back into the details about my design, let me explain where you should place the explosives. Plant Alpha, the lumber mill. Dang it, I knew that guy was coming. There's a wagon out in front of the lumber mill. This is northeast of their deforestation and lumber collection construct. I suspect the engineering plans are inside of the lumber mill. To plant the charge, head to the back of the wagon once it's set. Make haste and get some distance. When you're ready, hit the detonator. I've ensured a strong signal by routing copper and silver wires with a Malthusian antenna array within the casing of the box. Watermelon. Getting kind of low on mana. That should give you good range. Just be careful of the goblins nearby. They won't appreciate my operation, my creation, if they catch you in their sight. Or just in case it wasn't obvious, don't be near the wagon when it blows. It'll hurt. Plan Beta, the wind shear mine. I saw the goblins using another wagon of explosives north of the mine's entrance. I think that should be a good enough place to plant NG5 charge red. After you set the charge in the back of the wagon, get some distance and hit the buttons. If the goblins don't come running to check out the commotion, it's probably because the mountain came down on top of their heads. The Ventricle letters are outside the mine, I think on some crates on the bottom level. Good luck, and remember, blue charge lumber mill, red charge mine. Oh, and destroy this letter after you've accomplished your mission. Maybe I should look into a way to make these things destroy themselves after they're red. That's not a bad idea. That'd be like some... there's a wind shear overlord. That'd be like, whatchamacallit, like Get Smart or whatever. Okay, so I believe that's separate from what we're doing, so what I want to do is try and fight my way back to that quest in there. And we're gonna see
Not ready yet.
how that works out. He's running. Okay. So we need to get to this guy. So I moved that over. I pulled 2. Oh, I pulled 3. Oh, now we're getting out of here. I don't want all 3. Should psychic screen them, but I think I can get away with it. So maybe... Oh, gosh. Maybe I actually want to level. I didn't realize... Now I am going to psychic screen. So now I'm thinking maybe that getting into that mine is a little bit tough for us right now. Maybe I want to do the other 2 first. They seem like they're going to be a little bit easier. So let's do this one on the outside. Actually, you know what? We'll save them both for next time. Ow. Okay, so we're going to do... Now that we've kind of done some reconnaissance work, oh my gosh, I wanted to at least level up. Let's just kill a couple guys, I guess, out here. Let's at least just kill a couple and level up for old Kelly. So, oh man, that guy's still after me. So I think I'm going to pick up, or not pick up, I already have it. If you've ever heard of the, I really love, like, playing chunks of games from the beginning. Like, when we did this project right here is like the ultimate project. I love it because what did we do? We went back, we read every lore. We played the original Warcraft. We played Warcraft 2. We've been doing everything in order. Now we're playing our brains out on Classic. I love that. That's my hobby. That's my thing. I like going and finding. I mean, I'll sometimes kick off like a new game series or whatever. But you really want to see me enjoying myself. It's doing stuff like that. I love to find... Oh, he's got a wind serpent as a pet. That's cool. We're going to just go up to this little camp. Log out. And next time with her, we'll try a little harder. We'll actually do some of these quests. We'll do these 2 things, and then we'll also try to break into the camp. I might actually grind out... We might grind some basilisks first as well. I think that might... Because that actually seems... That level 22, breaking into that mine, that actually seems harder than some of the other stuff we've been doing. So, get off me, bro. Actually, I did say I wanted to level up, so you're gonna force my hand here. So, there is a game series, you probably have heard of it. It's called Heroes of Might and Magic. And on GOG, which is if you love playing classic games, there is a, if you have not heard of it, it's kind of like Steam, but it specializes in just crazy old school games, like games that you pretty much can't get anywhere else, like Diablo 1. If you want to play Diablo 1, you could bootleg it, or you could get it on GOG.
Need to get closer.
Dang, they just keep like rotating who's gonna go do what. Probably need to kill like 3 more, I think, probably. But anyway, this old GOG has the, you can, I think I bought like the whole pack once, because there's 7 Heroes of Might and Magic games, and then there's like, a lot of them have expansions and episodes and yada yada yada, there's so many. But then I got distracted and I didn't end up finishing it, so, and that was years ago. I've just been having them sit on my computer. So I think maybe I'm going to start that up and just play that on the side. I've definitely beaten Heroes of Might and Magic 1 and 2 a bunch of times, and that's what really got, it was Heroes of Might and Magic 2 when I was a kid growing up, was just dope. Because they didn't come out until like the 90s. Like late, like around this, I think they came out like, it's kind of funny to think about, like they're competing with World of Warcraft, because King's Bounty, the original King's Bounty, was the predecessor. It's kind of like the Demon Souls to their Dark Souls, and it came out in like 1990, and the other ones came out a few years after, so. Alright. Hit 23, that's going to help us with our leveling up. What do we want to pick? I don't know, probably one of these. I'll look about that after we log, which is about to happen. So let's just find a nice little safe place to do our logging out. I really thought, I don't remember where it is. Maybe it's down there. I'll do my fade, so I'm less likely to get aggro. But yeah, so next time with her, we'll do these couple quests. We'll come up and grind. Now that I'm 23, I feel a little better about getting these crystallized scales. Where the heck do you even turn those in at? Stormwind, of course. Why would it not be Stormwind? We're not going to be turning them in anytime soon, but we could at least grind out and get them. Finish our stack. We could kill some harpies too while we're there. He wants us to do that. Gorenzo Wrench Whistle, that seems more difficult, because that's one of those things where you are fighting your way like up one of those rigs. So anything where you have to fight your way and clear guys at a certain clip so that they don't respawn behind you is a recipe for bad times. Now, I'm not going to gain rested XP while I'm out here, but luckily she almost has a full level's worth of rested XP, so should be okay. Alright everybody, so not that much, just a lot of me talking, but we got another episode in the pipe. 5x5. I thank everyone so much for watching, for listening to me rant and vent and regurgitate all of my life out there. Next time it'll be reading, and then we'll do more questing. So it'll be less talking. But see you guys next time on the next episode of Lore of Warcraft.